Hello, I'm Keir.
And I'm Kat.
We're from the band Osmara. Yeah, we're just going to talk about our acoustic EP that came out on the 7th of February. Why are we doing an EP? Doing an EP?
Yeah, we set out to do an album that wasn't going to be feasible.
Yeah.
Or, it was not going to be what we wanted to achieve in, that amount of time.
We went into this year with, no...
big visions.
Experience.
And no experience.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about Song for Funeral for a little bit.
It started on a mandolin, actually. So
cool.
The one song I can play on a mandolin is Sweet Home Alabama by Lynyrd Skynyrd. So there's a D and a C in Sweet Home Alabama, and I was fiddling around with it, and I was just doing that, and I was at Shane's house, and he was playing Red Dead Redemption, and I was just playing a soundtrack to that.
Did Shane have any influence in it? Do you think it's...
Sort of, actually. So is a band called the Punch Brothers, and the lead singer is a mandolin player, so I was like, oh, why don't I sing high like Chris Thiele does?
I remember you saying that. Because he really uses his voice as, it's really an instrument, and it's, adding to the music. It's not just sitting on top of the music, it's, intertwined with it, which is really nice.
I've spent a lot of time writing a lot of songs with, every single chord I can think of thrown in. And I was like, well, why not just use 2 chords?
I know what you mean. I think that I like that about it, and it also, because it is emotional, it
100%.
gives time, because the listener isn't well, that's really good guitar riff. That's crazy. They're more listening to the melody and the lyrics as well.
Yeah.
So I really love the lyrics in the song.
Yeah,
I like it because I feel like there's a shift in perspective.
Yeah.
Because obviously you think about when you're mourning. This came about at a time, obviously, when you were writing about somebody specific. I'd also lost a grandparent.
Totally.
So, I was very, it really moved me at the time, and I really love the song now.
What we were talking about there, basically, my grandfather, and Livs, who's recording this right now, wave, died last year, and I wasn't actually in the country when it happened. So it was a very strange and
yeah, that's hard.
Surreal situation. This was maybe
it's denial,
4 or 5 months after that had happened, and I started writing this song, and they all all the lyrics started coming together, and I was like, oh right, this is about my grandpa.
So you weren't consciously writing about your granddad?
By the time I got to the first verse finished, I was like, oh right, okay, I do know what this is about. So then that sort of brought the rest of it forward, because I think it's hard to write a song when there's no meaning to it.
I imagine, because it's mourning is so personal, but I imagine you were just sitting in that feeling for a while.
Yeah, no,
not really being able to
I think
identify it as one specific thing. Obviously, you know that this event has happened, and that's separate. But your body and mind and soul, how are you gonna deal with this?
The way I view it is, this is me finally processing it.
Yeah,
I think that's what's so good about music, is it's art, and it matters, and it can impact what sort of goes on in your head.
Your emotional maturity as well, being able to have a feeling but then communicate it in an art form. That's impressive. That's really mental.
Thank you. If it means something to me, I hope it means something to other people. Verse 1, it is his perspective. One winter morning I flew too close to the sun, so no more lonely evenings.
Special.
The long night's done. One day you'll burn up rising is
sort of rising to heaven.
I think there's that, and it's also, obviously, I flew too close to the sun. That's Icarus. You'll burn up rising as he flew up and then he burned. I guess that's sort of just kind of where that comes from. But yeah, no, I think it's definitely valid to interpret it as heaven.
Going when you die and your soul goes into the sky, whatever the sky may be for you.
Yeah.
I think that's nice. It's conclusive.
Yeah. I think I wrote the guitar riff for Faithful. The reason it's called Faithful Whip means the title is a work in progress.
What does whip stand for?
Work in progress.
Oh. I was spelling whip with a H.
Whip.
Yeah.
Is a very, very stripped back version of what we play live. I wrote the guitar for the live version maybe a year and a half ago.
Really?
Yeah, it was like when we first finally got into like the practice studios and we were starting to get stuff together. And it was just like a really weird like soft rock guitar thing. It was kind of like Steely Dan sort of vibe. Cool. And for so long I didn't know what to do with it. I think I finally wrote the chorus in last summer. And then we went on a trip up to the northwest coast.
I feel like there was like a kind of like a bit of like an energy there that was really good for songwriting because it was like away from everything.
Oh, 100%. Like, that was yeah. I wrote so many songs up there.
And it was a nice place for you because it's like childhood, right? You went there a lot when you were young.
And just now, like I love not being near people.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's completely like obviously you have your mobile data, but
it's no like just disconnect. No electricity. We've got a gas
and stove. I love being by the sea so much.
Right by the sea, like 5 minutes walk.
It's lovely.
Yeah,
well, it's very different actually, and I really enjoyed this version of it, the version that we're out.
Yeah,
I enjoy it way more.
Yeah,
more than the one we do live. I think it's really heartfelt.
Soft.
And it's
it sounds much... That's the thing, it sounds much more meaningful than it is because it doesn't mean a whole lot. Like,
no.
That's the problem I find with this song is like, this is more of a song for the sake of having a song rather than a song for being a song. Since then, the second verse of this song is more meaningful
definitely.
Than the first because I like... eventually became inspired because up until I don't know 2 or 3 months ago we'd just been repeating the first verse again.
We just left it alone, to be honest.
Cat causing an absolute ruckus.
You can sit there if you like. Even though like we're releasing this and it sounds good, I think that after this we should still work on it.
Oh totally, that's why it's a work in progress.
I don't feel like the chorus and the verses like
no, they don't match. No, they don't.
It kind of like, okay, so now they're singing about something different.
Now they're singing about, like, wasting love.
Obviously in a terrible relationship.
But yeah, I think I came up with the verse because I was trying to sing Cat's part.
Yeah.
So I was like...
That's so nasty.
And I was like, that's the
tiny violin.
and yeah, it kind of just sort of fell into place. And yes, it sounds exactly like a charity anthem.
It does sound like a charity anthem. I think it should
that lyric
have like
does anyway.
I want it to have like a humanitarian theme.
Yeah.
Like I want You Waste Love could be like I don't know, commercialism and like it's you all consume too much.
Yeah.
Whilst watching this video on social media, you consume too much.
You do. Put your phone away and go touch some grass.
Stop scrolling.
The second verse, I kind of did become more inspired to write something maybe not like humanitarian. It's more like current events.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I
think about the words. It's a mouthful. I think people say a lot of like very inflammatory stuff.
Yeah.
And
maybe don't think about the consequences.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whether you have an influence on others or not.
When you say things, it influences people one way or another, whether they agree or disagree with you, and like consequences happen.
I think it should be that like contrast of like, oh, this is a really lovely song.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of distracted by that a little bit, and then you're like,
That's
what are they actually talking about? That's crazy.
I think this is one of those prime songs for like some Music Concrete and like news clips and stuff.
Yeah.
Like sound bites to go in at the end, or like everyone's gonna roll my eyes. Everyone that knows me are gonna roll their eyes right now. Pink Floyd put in a lot of stuff like that. And yeah, ginormous influence on everything I do. And there's a lot of like sort of political thought in there and what they do, especially Roger Waters. Like some of his later stuff has literal like news clips and stuff in it, and it works really well.
If you're, especially in this day and age, if you have a platform and you're not using it, this has been said 100 times
like,
online.
yeah, to
but like if you're not actually using it,
things in a positive way. Yeah.
Not to tell people how they should think.
Just to tell people to think, or like introduce
to tell people
ideas.
to think, not to tell people how they should think. That's a fantastic line.
Boom, soundbite right there.
Write that down. Talking about this song's with Vertigo. Yeah, so Vertigo was made when we first like met at
first started
uni.
playing together, yeah.
Like, because I mean, we were both at uni for a little while before we interacted.
Yeah, I think it was like halfway through first year, yeah.
Yeah. No, what did you used to sing and I was trying to help you sing it? What song was that?
Take Me Out by Franz Ferdinand.
I was like, fucking, open your mouth!
It's like, I'm opening your mouth, you dick.
Yeah, so we basically, a bunch of projects in first year. One of our friends came up with a song.
Yeah.
We all worked on it together.
Yeah.
Great song.
He sort of wrote the piano thing because he was new to that. And this guy's a punk musician. Like, pop punk, but still punk. Like, so this is, like, completely out of his wheelhouse. And he's like, I've been working on this. And it's based off of, like, a video game he really likes. And he's like, I've been working on this. I don't know if it's any good because, like, I've never played piano much before. And he's like, is this good? And I was like, oh, fuck, what? How did this come out
actually,
of you?
like, it's so nice
it's so
for a guy like him to be, like, that expressive.
Yeah,
and, like,
definitely.
openly so.
Because he's so shy.
Yeah.
Like, God bless him. He's so shy.
Without the lyrics are great, but without the lyrics as well, it's like a very expressive piece of work.
Yeah.
Like it is.
Yeah.
That process was good at that time because it was just sort of like, oh, I have an idea, here it is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're gonna work on your parts.
Yeah, and
like I
and
want
we
it to
actually
sound like
did
this.
that. Yeah.
I mean, let's talk about the lyrics because I think they're pretty. There's not much I would change about that.
I would change the start of the song. Essentially, the start of my verse and the start of your verse I would change. So, taken aback and I'm tied up, I can't see through the cracks because I fucked up, means nothing and it sucks. Like, I don't like.
Do you think
those
it's like
words.
you trying to be like edgy?
Yeah.
Because maybe you were trying to take Ben's narrative.
That's exactly
Name
what
drop.
it is. Benjamin. What the song ended up as was like, again, like actually something that meant something to me. Cause we were in second year, just out of first year of uni, and it's sort of about time going much faster than expected. We're in fourth year of university with one semester left, and that's fucking terrifying.
Being out of education fully, like I had 2 years past high school.
Yeah.
But that was pandemic.
Yeah, that's true.
So that was like a frozen time anyway.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, I was finished school at 17. All of a sudden, I'm at uni and I'm 20, and I'm like, how the hell? Where did those 3 years go?
That's crazy. That's exactly what the song's about, and it's like oh shit, that's quite scary. So the song's called Vertigo because it's like motion sickness.
Well,
I know vertigo isn't exactly motion
you're like
sickness,
floating in time.
Yeah.
But the feeling of like living almost motionless because you were in your own bubble.
Totally.
You know.
Yeah.
You were told that it was called a bubble. You're told everything.
Mm-hmm.
What you couldn't do. Even a place like you live in the middle of nowhere, and did you still feel like you felt restrained? Like,
oh, totally. I don't know if that necessarily like instructed what I was gonna write Vertigo about, but I think now that you mention it, like subconsciously, that might have like vertigo may have been like a symptom of
what's that line?
The whole thing.
Can't time move slower in the summer?
Yeah,
I really love that line.
I like that line.
That's so like teen punky.
yeah,
It is. Summer.
It's pretty angsty. I do love summer though.
I love summer. I love winter, but I cannot wait for it to be warmer.
Oh, 100%.
And then I'm in summer and I'm like, it's fucking hot.
This is the time of my life.
I'm waiting for Christmas now. But
really?
I feel like you spend your life waiting and wishing for the next thing.
Yeah. And yeah.
I am in the moment.
That was very well put. Like this no.
Yeah.
No, seriously, you've hit the nail on the head. That like just finished school and like already halfway through uni and I'm like and I was like and I've still not really accomplished much of what I want to do.
All the way through being at university, I've said to people, what are you studying? Studying music. Oh, really? It's a bit of a waste of time, isn't it? All this sort of like backhanded comments.
Well, I see you on TV in the future then. I'm like...
How can you already be successful?
Yeah.
When you're trying you're studying and you're trying to make it a thing. But it's like, your music and your worth as a creative isn't valuable until it's like... Worth money and like exploited, really.
Yeah. And like, yeah, used
I
for
heard
other
you
people's gain.
on the BBC and that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, you made it. That's crazy.
You made it.
The relevance of being like a late teenager, being in your early 20s. 20s is about figuring it out.
Yeah, and that's
like,
what that song is.
Being in that suspended, like, I need to impress them and I need to keep up with that. I need to learn how to drive. I need to move out. I need to have a job. Juggling all these things. Well, in reality, I just want to like sit and write songs 100%. And not do anything.
Like that's what. So this lyric is like, we had so much time, couldn't bear to think. As I make up my mind, I begin to sink. That was like, that was my feeling of. I didn't want to go to uni. I didn't want to go to college or anything. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I nearly didn't do anything. And like, I wouldn't have met you. I wouldn't have met like my other friends from uni. We wouldn't be in this band had I not done this. And it was kind of like, I was just letting the world take. I was like, hands off the wheel. Just something will happen to me.
We had so much time.
Couldn't bear to think.
So you get to the age of like 17.
Yeah.
And you kind of feel like you know nothing. You finish school, totally. It's like, wait, what actually do I know? But you've had all this time, you've had 17 years to figure it out.
But you've not been, like, mature enough to think about actually making a decision, I don't think.
You've not been thinking relative to the rest of your life.
Yeah, because you're just thinking about what's happening now.
Right there and then.
Yeah, totally.
And I keep seeing people talking about, like, if you're lost in, like, your early adulthood, you should think back to, like, childhood you. Of, like, so I don't know how I feel about this situation, or... this new thing that I'm trying out, I don't know how I feel about it. What would like kid me do? Because that is unapologetically you without any influence, and then you've grown up, formed into whatever has influenced you, whether it's good or bad. I
mean, I think for me, I've always wanted to be like creative since I was a kid. Like I always said, I want to be an artist, and now I know that that's not what I meant, because I meant like a painter or something, and I still paint and do that, but like as an artist, I'm a musician and this is my art, and like, so I came back round to that, and then the end of the song's about death, being dead, because then your life's done, and it's like.
Do you think it is like a full? Do you think it's a work through life sort of song? Yeah, I think so, and I think that's what I want the start of the song to reflect more, because it's kind of just like, I'm just hanging about and being a teenager, what the fuck's going on, and it's more like I want it to maybe be more. Do you want to have it like
I'm just a baby and I'm doing this and stuff?
Because you could have that obviously without any lyrics as well. You could just have that as like a playful like melody at the beginning.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so the art came around when I saw the moon in the sky and it was daytime, and I was like, well, that's pretty. I've just got this new camera, I want to see if I can take a good photo of it, and then it turned out quite well. And then you know how it's got like the boxes on it, so I just got the photo onto my phone and I was like editing it, playing around with colours, and then I like pressed done on the iPhone edit thing, and it came up with these squares on it. I was like, what the fuck is that? I didn't do that. And I was like, oh wait, screenshot. So it's just it's literally just a glitch like in the Photos app, and luckily it caught like one of the pixels with the moon in it as well, so it's like in both places, so like really total luck.
Didn't mean it.
I did not.
We'll not be able to recreate it.
And I was like, oh, well, I can't not use this for something now.
And then, awesome.
Yeah, it's like, it's pretty funny.
We wanted like a visual representation of what this is, and I think that's quite difficult for like essentially a bunch of music that wasn't written at the same time, doesn't really correlate.
So, 2 songs about death. That's quite good. And I mean, like, there's a lot of imagery, like, or things that tie death and the sky together.
Yeah.
And again, that's something I realised completely after I'd done this.
And like floating and rising. Yeah. I think that they're all relevant, actually. Yeah, really? I mean, even that picture I took in the plane.
Oh, that was perfect. That was such a stroke of luck.
But,
like, the art for this has been very lucky.
Yeah, it totally has. And, like...
So that's the thing that we
like,
use to announce our name. It's like the little plate with the cloud shifting.
Yeah. And that's just a live photo, like, on a loop. Yeah. But that was coming out of Poland, snowing. Yeah. So underneath all that cloud is, like, grey, really, thick snow, right? Taking off in that, and then it just like broke up, and it was like it was heaven. Beautiful in person, and cameras could only
the camera caught it pretty well though. Yeah, I think it's such an awesome image, if I do say so myself.
But like, because the clouds are so dense, because obviously they're just full of snow and everything. Yeah, but like it's just really nice.
Totally. Joel, who recorded this EP, came up with the name the Livingroom Tapes, so credit to him. I think that's a really cool name. Yeah.
I think a lot of it I'd like it to convey as like comfortable and familiar.
Totally.
And
the sky is
just
that.
Relate. Yeah, totally.
Everyone looks at the moon and goes, "Oh wow, that's quite pretty."
Yeah, we all say that's nice.
Yeah, exactly. I think like these are objectively nice things to look at. So it was funny when I was recording the video. This is just a story. When I was recording the video of one of the skies, this can be edited in. I had to go into like the horse's field to get like a good angle. So at the end of like the video of like recording the clouds, there's just a horse that just goes into the camera.
Really?
And it's quite funny. Thank you very much for listening to us ramble on.
Listen to our music.
Our EP is out on Bandcamp, SoundCloud, and the YouTube that you've probably seen it if you're watching this. Watch it again. Watch it hundreds of times. Do it.
Get your mom to watch it.
They're out there. Go listen to these 3 songs. They mean a lot to us.
I think make them your own. Like I always.
Yeah, don't let what we've said they're about impact entirely what you think they're about.
Yeah, like form your own opinion, and like anybody that wants to share that with us, I'm sure. Like I'd really love to hear.
Tell us in the comments what you think we're about. Yeah, and if it's good or not, please. Our first single will be coming out on Spotify sometime soon. It's called Raygun. We've spent a lot of time on it, and
and it's shite. No, it's not. It's great.
We've spent a lot of time on it, and we'd really like for people to like it.
Yeah. And I think they will.
And that's, as much as I'll say now. Thank you.
Cool.
Goodbye.
Thank you.